it. I know it's been back and forth in our house too.
I really honestly don't know, but my nose will not stop running. I'm constantly wiping my nose. So my camera is off today for my nose blowing purposes. Sorry, guys. It's just not a good situation over here, but I'm still with you. I'm still here in person. So
Glad you're here.
I was like, you know what? We don't want to scare anybody away with that today. Before we do the goals, I want to explain what you're going to start seeing as we look at our goals. We're going to start seeing different colors of goals in for our daily objectives. And the different colors are going to indicate that as we learn things, we're going to go from just knowing them to mastering them. This evaluation thing is not like just a test. This means that you guys are expertise almost in what we are doing. So knowledge means you could tell me it back. All right. Understanding means that you can take the topic or the word and maybe explain it in your own words. So you're deviating from the exact, like when we type in chat, let me think of a word that we would have used. Eukaryotic equals, or U equals true. All right. Instead of just giving me back U equals true, you can tell me what a prokaryotic cell is using your own words. Application would be like telling me, like drawing me a diagram of it, right? And showing me what a eukaryotic cell is and the components. Analysis would be like you could tell me what a eukaryotic cell is and how it compares to like a prokaryotic cell and maybe even the similarities, as you know, get what I'm saying? Like, so as we go up this triangle, it shows me that you are like gaining further understanding and mastery of what we're going over. So like these first 3 objectives today are on our knowledge base because we're restarting today with some new content. Anytime we start new, we have to build on the base of you can repeat what I'm giving you, the knowledge that I'm giving you. And then by the end of the lesson, we get to some of those explains, right? Where you can increase that level of understanding a little bit more. And then by the end of the unit, I would say we need to be at least here. Okay. The more work you do on your own, the higher up this level of understanding you're going to have of all of this content. Okay. All right. Mrs. Schaefer is going to kick off the lesson today with going through the goals with you. And she's going to also work with us at the end on kind of like just wrapping it up.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I am having the congestion too, so I apologize. Our goals today. What is the chemical equation for cellular respiration? What are the reactants and products of cellular respiration? Where does anaerobic respiration take place? And explain how reactant and products of cellular respiration are important to living organisms. Oh, what a fun day we have planned, Mrs. Rittenhouse.
Sorry, it took me a minute to mute my mic. I know. It is a big topic because when you look at what we're doing this week, it's a huge deal. All right. We are going to be looking at the mitochondria, at the chloroplast, and we're going to kind of, I wish we could actually take off the lid of the cell, or of the organelle. So pretend you're inside a cell. We're going to locate a mitochondria today. And if we could split it in half and pull off the top, just like we would a pumpkin. All right, just like you would a pumpkin lid, and we're going to look inside of that pumpkin and see what's on the inside. That we are going to do that today with the mitochondria. One second. Answering a question in chat. All right. So that is today's goal. We're going to do that this week by looking at both the mitochondria and the chloroplast And so we have a big day ahead of us, a big week ahead of us. It's going to be really fun though, because we get to look at processes that are happening in our cell every single day. I was grading cell projects a lot. I've been working on grading some of your study guides. You guys, it's important that we know those organelles and their functions. Who can tell me right now, what does it mean to, or what is the job of the mitochondria? Sorry. What is the job of the mitochondria? What's the job of it? Nobody? Can anyone hear me?
I think we're quiet on a Monday morning. I think everyone's still waking up or something. Oh,
There.
there we go.
I was like, wow, I never get nothing.
I thought maybe some of them were complaining about computer issues. Maybe there's a delay.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Powerhouse. There we go. The powerhouse of the cell. What does that mean? Powerhouse of energy, powerhouse of the cell. There we go. It is the power plant of the cell. It's where we make energy. All right? It's where our cells take the carbohydrates that we eat. A carbohydrate is your bread, your chips, your fruit, the sugars that we put into our body. All right? Do our bodies use glucose or sugar as the currency of the cell? Is that what they use to do all cell processes? We need it, yes, to make it. But what we talked at one point in Unit 2 about the actual currency of the cell. Does anybody remember what the actual currency of the cell is? Like what it actually uses? Just like in the United States, we use money to pay for things. All right, you can come in here from Mexico with Mexican money. It still has value. We still say it is a currency and that it has worth, but you can't go to Walmart and use a peso. All right, in Honduras, they use a lempira. You can't come into Walmart in Ohio and use a lempira. What do you need to buy something in the United States or at a Walmart in Ohio? What do you need? What currency do you need? Y'all should be able to type this. This is not science. Yes, everybody type dollars. Hello. I'm about to do another activity to get that is required for us all. I love you all, but we need to be engaged. Yep, dollars. If you are alive and well, put dollars. Okay? You need dollars to buy something. The dollars of the cell, all right? Glucose is like a peso. All right? It's money. We need it. It needs to come into our bodies, but our body doesn't use sugar. Our body uses ATP. So I want you to put dollars equal and capital ATP. There should be 69 of those going on in the house. Oh, did I really put dollars EA? It's dollars AR. I just mistyped. Dollars equal ATP. You have to know this. This will 150% be on the end of course test. In order for a cell to operate, it's going to take your sugar that you put into your body and convert it into ATP. Okay? That's what we're doing today. If you take off the pumpkin lid and pull off the pumpkin top and look inside it, just like you look inside of your mitochondria, we're going to be seeing sugar being processed, sugar going in, and ATP coming out. Sugar going in, ATP coming out. All right? That is what we're doing today. All right? We need to think of the sun as food, what is your favorite food? What's your favorite food? I would have to say mine's like, I don't know. I like junk food and sweets. Tacos, pizza, nachos, chicken nuggets. Chinese food is good. I like Thai food. Spaghetti, Blue Moon cookie dough ice cream, right? So what we need to think about is the sun is providing us all kinds of food. All right, now, this is kind of that chain we walked through last unit. The sun is energy. It is the baseline of all energy any living organism has, okay? Our primary producers are going to be anything that are green or that grows outside. Plants are like the ultimate cuisine, right? Even though we don't necessarily just eat plants, all right? Although a lot of humans right now are turning to plant-based diets, we eventually get this grass energy from the grass, from the sun, through the meat that we eat. All right. And this all happens whether we are eating the plants itself or the animal itself. We are all getting this energy from the sun. All right. Cellular respiration. Who can read the green letters at the top for me? Who will read that for me? All right, Lizzie, go ahead and read that for me.
Okay. Cellular respiration is how we create energy that our body needs to do everything, moving, breathing, etc.
Yes, so the only reason we're all sitting around right now surviving is because our bodies, our cells are constantly going through cellular respiration. It's how we are surviving, okay? Let's go ahead and look at this picture. ATP, that's that dollar bill of the cell that everything needs in order to survive. We need ATP to move. We need ATP to breathe. We need ATP for our brain cells to function. ATP is everything, okay? You can have a cell with DNA, but if you don't have ATP, it can't survive, okay? ATP is energy that is created from the food and the sugars that we eat. Right here to the right of the ATP. All right, this right here, everybody point to this. You have pointers? Let me make sure you have pointers.
I just turned them on.
Yeah. Awesome, they're on. There's those. All right, this is the molecule of ATP. All right, the ATP stands for adenine triphosphate. All right. All right, or adenosine triphosphate, not adenine. Adenine is the sugar. All right. Everybody point to the adenosine, which is this orange rectangle. That's the A. A. All right. Ribose is the sugar. And then the T stands for tri. What does tri mean? What does tri mean? Yep, 3. What do we have 3 of in this molecule? Phosphates. Everybody put your arrows on the 3 phosphates. 1, 2, 3. All right. This is the molecule that our body uses constantly to survive, to do all of the things. All right. Just like in our some of our cities, we have hydropower. All right. What does that mean? We use dams or hydropower. We use the power of moving water to create electricity for our houses. Does everybody know that? Yeah? Yes? No? You follow me with that? We use the water pouring over something, that power, to create electricity. so that we have it in our house. We're doing the same thing in our cells. We're using the carbohydrates, the sugar that we put in. The sugar is the water, okay? We're going to use that to create the ATP that we need to turn on the lights in our cells. And instead of using a dam or a water wheel to turn, we're going to use these 3 processes: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. All right, these are the water wheel, or these are the dam of our cell, the process of which we take the sugar and make ATP, just like we take the water and make electricity for our house. Convert it would be the better word, okay? How we're going to utilize it. Let's look at the structure of this a little bit. This is one of our first goals of the lesson, all right? If we had to take the process and make it into a formula, this is what we would do. It's like a recipe, okay? What do you need to make brownies? Let's keep it real simple. You get a brownie, you get a box, you have the box mix, and you flip it over and you read it, and it tells you a couple things that you need. Yep, you need eggs, you need water. Usually the sugar is in it, but you're right, sugar is in there, and oil, right? So you need the mix, the water, the oil, and the eggs. Those 4 things, you would put them together. So it would look like this. If we were going to do a brownie box mix, I'm going to put it up here. We need the mix plus water plus oil. I can't type today, guys. Plus eggs equals. If I could make an arrow, I would, but I can't at this point. So let's do this. All right. Mix plus water plus oil plus eggs. And then we would have an arrow like this. And what do we get? What is our output? What's the product of that? Yeah, good, JC. Brownies, right? We get nice, warm, fudgy brownies. I told you guys I love to talk about food. That's the exact same thing that this equation below is doing. It's saying in order to get, like over here, brownies, all right, in order to get energy, we also need to put these things together. We need glucose, right? This is the sugar from our food. So in order to get ATP, we need sugar from our food. And what's our other ingredient? Plus what? Somebody say it. Oxygen. Where do we get oxygen, guys? I don't know. Where does our bodies get oxygen? Yeah, from the air we breathe from our lungs, right? So we're breathing in lungs. Everybody take a deep breath. We're like in yoga. Breathe in. Now everybody breathe out. Right, we're breathing in oxygen. When our bodies breathe in oxygen, it goes to our lungs. It's going into our lungs when we take that big inhale, and the oxygen is actually going through our lung cavities and into our bloodstream. Cool. What are you doing with this, Mrs. Rittenhouse? Where does the little oxygen go from our bloodstream? Why is the oxygen in our bloodstream? Our bloodstream is like a bunch of FedEx trucks. What is our bloodstream delivering the oxygen to? Yeah, it's distributing it, Darren. Our blood is distributing this oxygen to every cell all over our body, from the tip of our toes to the top of our head. Right? It's delivering oxygen to our cells so that we can do this process. So when you breathe in air, you're actually delivering the oxygen, breathing in oxygen that's now being that is being delivered all over your body, okay? So those are the inputs. We put these together. All right, this is what we get. So we put glucose and oxygen in a bowl, mix them together and put them in a pan, stick them in the oven. All right, what comes out is energy, water, and carbon dioxide. What could also be oh my goodness, product of the brownies. All right. So the water and the carbon dioxide, it's like a byproduct is what they call them, or waste. Yep, waste. So like what would be our waste products from these ingredients right here? Like what would be left of those? So like brownies plus brownie box, right? Wouldn't that be left over after you took the mix out? Yes, absolutely. Plus the eggshell. Do you see what we're doing here? It's the same thing. So the output isn't only what we want. We ultimately are trying to get this ATP, but it is also water, which is a waste, and carbon dioxide, which is a waste. Now, it's a waste to this process. It doesn't mean that we can't use it. Oh, I like it, Darian. Dirty dishes. I love that. Yeah, let's add that. All right, plus dirty dishes. So you not only get what you wanted out, but you also get a few other extra things. Ultimately, though, our body is trying to create that ATP. It gets other things in the process, but it gets the ATP, and that's all that matters. So this, I would love you to take a screenshot of this. This is super duper important. All right, C6H12O6. This is our glucose, plus 6 oxygens. All right, just like it might be 1 egg or 2 eggs. When you put this in, you get out 6 carbon dioxides, 6 waters, and ATP. All right. This is super duper important. How do we feel about this? Now, again, I've told you in other lessons, keep some index cards near you that you can write things down. You could put cellular respiration equation on one side. And when you flip that card over, what I would put is this whole equation. This is something that you can memorize. It's not something that you are just going to be like, like some of those things I give you quick indicators for that are just quick memory things. This is something that you're going to have to intentionally work on storing. Okay. Luckily, there's a lot of similar numbers. C6, H12, that's double 6, O6. And then it's 6 oxygen, 6 carbon dioxide, and 6 water. So if you can remember 6 and 12, you've almost got this right. Okay. But this is something I would put on an index card beside your desk and keep, because this is going to be like a long-term storage we want to keep in your head and know for that test. Not just our unit test, but the end of course test. All right, so that pumpkin that we peeled back, right? Here we are. We're looking at glycolysis. Glycolysis is the very first process that happens. So let's go back to the brownie mix. All right. Actually, can we go to cookies now? Let's go to cookies. There's several processes in making chocolate chip cookies, okay? The first thing is you have to mix the dry ingredients. All right, making chocolate chip cookies from scratch is a little bit different than brownies. The first thing we need to do is we need to mix the dry ingredients. So that's kind of like what we're going to look at today with glycolysis. We're going to mix up the dry ingredients. We don't want to mix up the wet ingredients, and we don't want to combine them yet. We're right here. We're going to mix up the dry ingredients. It's the first step. If you don't do the first step first, then guess what? All recipes are designed scientifically. And if you do step 2 or 3 before you do step 1, you can mess up the whole process because you can't overbeat the eggs, and you don't want to mix in an ingredient too soon because sometimes it can cause a chemical reaction in your food that is not ready, that you don't want yet. Okay, so we're going to do step 1 first always. And when we're making ATP from sugar, the first step is always glycolysis. Everybody say glycolysis. Another one of those silly words. All right. And that is when glucose is broken down. How can I remember that glycolysis starts with glucose? Anybody want to take your pen and write on the board or circle similarities on the board? Yeah, good, Lizzie. Yes. Gly and glue. Good. All right, glycolysis is the breakdown of glucose. All right. We need to know that this also happens where? Who can tell me where this happens based on our slides? In the, cytoplasm. All right, glycolysis is the breakdown of glucose in the cytoplasm. All right, what I want you to kind of think about taking like a spaghetti noodle, breaking it into 2 pieces. All right, we get 2 ATP out of this process. I made these little diagrams to kind of help us. All right, so here's glycolysis, breakdown of glucose. Where does it happen? Hard spaghetti. I want you to hear the snap, right? Anytime bonds break, what is released? When we break those bonds, when you hear that snap of that hard spaghetti, yes, energy is released. So here we have our hard candy of glucose. And when we snap it in half like a piece of spaghetti, when that bond breaks, we get energy. All right. And in this case, we're going to get 2 ATP. And we're also going to get these 2 pieces. So instead of having this glucose molecule, when we snap that hard candy in half, we get 2 pieces, and we call it something else, of pyruvic acid. Say pyruvic acid. Even if you don't have your mic on, just say it. It's a weird word.
Pyruvic acid.
Good. Pyruvic acid. Yes, Rennie? I can in 1 minute. Pyruvic acid. All right. So we have glucose being cut in 2 halves during the process of glycolysis, and we get ATP, and we get 2 pieces of pyruvic acid. So glycolysis is the first step, and we get 2 ATP and 2 pyruvic acid. So in your chat, I want you to type glycolysis equals 2 ATP and 2 pyruvic acid. Okay. This happens, I put it in the blue, in the jelly-filled part of the donut called the cytoplasm. All right. Glycolysis happens in the cytoplasm. And it gives us 2 pyruvic acid and 2 ATP. Good. 2 pyruvic acid and 2 ATP. This happens in the cytoplasm. All right, now I want you to fill this out. Okay? I want you to fill this out. You can do it. Where does glycolysis happen? Somebody fill this in. Where does glycolysis happen? Where does it happen? Yes. Yes, Darian, you're right. Somebody type cytoplasm on here. Yes, good. See, you guys got this. All right. Glycolysis is the breakdown good of glucose. What does this hard candy represent? What does this guy represent? Almost, not ATP yet. ATP actually should be out here. I don't have anything yet. But this molecule right here is actually this sugar. Good. The ATP goes right here by the lightning bolt. Yep. Because when that bond breaks, energy is released in the form of ATP. Okay. So we get how many ATP? Can somebody put a number by that? Yes, 2 ATP. You guys are awesome. So glycolysis is the breakdown of glucose in the cytoplasm. We take our sugar, our glucose, okay? We break it. We take that energy that was released and make 2 ATP, and we get 2 pieces of pyruvic acid. You guys are rock stars. I am not going to go any further. I feel really good that you guys have this part down. This content, if you don't pay attention, will get confusing. I don't want to go into more because we have 5 minutes of time. I want to end where you feel like you're flexing and you feel confident. You guys just filled out a chart based on everything we've learned today about glycolysis. We want to end on a note where you feel confident and strong. This is what we need to do next, is level up. Okay? What are you going to do to fix this flow chart in your forever memory? What would I do? I would take a white piece of paper and some colorful markers or crayons or colored pencils, and I would make this chart of my own. I would literally sit down and write this all out. Maybe it's a candy cane. Maybe it's whatever you want. Maybe it's actual, I don't know. I would make this diagram myself. Maybe you aren't an arts person. I like to see it, do it, try it. I'm a hands-on person. When I take my piece of paper and my markers and I do this chart for myself, it helps me put it in my forever memory. Maybe you just need to write notes. Maybe you need to come back to the recording. Maybe you need to get into our biology textbook and actually read the text. Maybe you guys have taken me up on those flashcards and you have them beside you. Maybe you need to make a glycolysis flashcard or make yourself a review game. I don't know what it is, but you have got to take this stuff today and level yourself up, okay? I want to end on a note while we are flexing. What is the chemical equation of cellular respiration? Can anyone tell me? It's that input-output, what our brownie mix was, right? All the ingredients. What are ingredients for cellular respiration? Let's put it on the board. C what? C6. H what? It's not a 6, it's the other number. 12. Oh. 6. Good. Plus. What are we doing? Plus what? 6 what? What do we have to breathe in and deliver to every cell in our body? Good. 6 oxygen. And it's O2 is oxygen. But if you can at least know oxygen, I'm good. All right. We need those two things. We mix those together. And what do we get? What's on the other side of this? ATP plus what else? 6. What's our waste products? What do you breathe out after you breathe in oxygen? You breathe out what? Carbon dioxide. And 6, what else? What do we drink? Yes, water, Darian. Good. I know that's a long equation, but I promise you, you can memorize that. All right. Put that on an index card. It's a memory thing. Reactants and products. We just did that right here, right? Our reactants are over on this side. It's the ingredients that we need. Our products are what we get out of it. Our ATP, our water, and carbon dioxide are our products. All right, we did not talk about anaerobic respiration. We're not going there. We don't have time. We're going to end on a high note. All right. And how are products and reactants of respiration important? Why is this important? What do we need this stuff for? Energy and survival, right? Just like we take in oxygen, plants take it in carbon dioxide. So even though that's a waste product to us, it's a need product for plants, right? Good. All right. Level up today. Do something so that you don't forget this. All right. Thanks for being here on a Monday. I know I did a lot of talking. It was a big lesson. But you guys did a great job with that chart. And I promise we'll do more talking tomorrow, okay? All right, guys. Have a great Monday. I'll see you tomorrow.